Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us. As promised, we're talking about the new book, Citizen U, Doing Your Part to Change the World. You're listening to This Week in America on the Blue Funk Broadcasting Radio Network. The author, Jonathan Tisch, is with us on the program. Mr. Tisch, welcome to This Week in America. Great to have you with us.
Rick, thank you so much for the opportunity.
This is such an excellent book and such an excellent project that you're talking about. And let's talk about people up to this point maybe have gone out, maybe weekly, maybe monthly, done something, work at a soup kitchen, that type of thing. And what you're talking about is active citizenship, and it's something that's catching on all across the country. Let's start off by defining exactly what we're talking about with active citizenship.
The term refers to individuals who want to do more than just volunteer, and certainly there is nothing wrong with that. It's commendable. People see the need. But what we need to do today is to become engaged citizens, hence the word active and engaged. And it means going beyond the volunteering, which once again is commendable, but taking it to the next level and working together to find the root cause of the many challenges that we face as a society, not only here nationally, but certainly internationally. And the profiles in Citizen U are individuals such as you or me who saw a need, and they work together with others, and they've taken organizations from small steps, baby steps, to doing some really dynamic work across this country and across the world. So that's the term active citizen. And once again, we want to get people engaged. There is a moment in time that we are living in currently where people truly want to make a difference.
Well, it's interesting because in the book you have so many examples. The book is Citizen U, by the way. CitizenU.org is the website. It's interactive. You can go there. You get all sorts of information. The back of the book, you've actually got 52 ways that you can join the movement, and you don't have to be involved in top-tier management, that type of thing. Whatever your skills are, and the book will help you define what those skills are, you can go out and become active as a citizen in your community. You've got a number of examples there. I'll mention one, Scott Harrison. He's a nightclub promoter, and you would think, okay, what's he going to do to actually make a difference in the world? And he's actually done quite a bit. Very impressive.
Scott, as you correctly noted, was promoting clubs here in New York City. He was a guy that was on the other side of the velvet rope, if you will. He was trying to charge $350 for a bottle of vodka so that you could sit all night at a table in downtown Manhattan. And he woke up one day and he was very dissatisfied. He looked at himself in the mirror and said, this is an empty existence. And he took his knowledge and started something called Charity Water. And he came to the realization that in many underdeveloped societies that are part of this planet Earth, they don't have water, and it's very hard to grow business. It's very hard to raise kids. It's hard to have a family unless you have access to clean running water. And he started this organization. Now today he's built something like 5,000 wells, Africa, Asia, and he's bringing clean water to many communities that never had it before. He is a very good example of an engaged and active citizen. And we try to profile many individuals like that. And you also made a comment about having the assets, financial assets, to do something. This book hopefully will explain, and the companion website, citizenu.org, that it's not just about the Fortune 100 companies. It's not about the Fortune 500 companies. It's about individuals looking within themselves, saying, what resources do I have in terms of my abilities to do something, and then getting involved.
What's so impressive with you, sir, and with your family, the Lowe's family, and our guest on the program, Jonathan Tisch, is the chairman, CEO of Lowe's Hotels, for many years very prominent in New York. And what you've done and what the family's done and what instilled on you is to be involved in activities. It's more than just writing a check and being there financially. It's rolling up your sleeves and actually being involved on a day-to-day basis with a number of these projects.
Very much so. And this is my third book. The first book, The Power of We, Succeeding Through Partnerships, really was a look at how by putting aside your individual concerns and working together toward the greater good, you can accomplish so much more. And my cousins and I, who are fortunate enough to run Lowe's Corporation, and then our siblings and other cousins and now spouses, all got to learn from the greatest partnership that we knew, and that was the one created by my late father and my late uncle. And my Uncle Larry was a financial genius, if you will. My father was an operating guru and knew everybody and could work a room like nobody's business. And the two of them together, and then throw in my mother and my aunt, created an environment for us to learn, and it was not dictated at the table. This was just in our DNA, and now we're trying to have the same kinds of learning experiences for our kids. It is expected that you do something, and it goes, as you aptly noted, it goes beyond writing the check. I am not a big fan of the phrase giving back, because maybe I'm a little bit jaded living here in New York City, but giving back is almost like a static experience. It's one time you write a check, you go to an event, but I like to use the term understanding one's responsibility to the community. And those are the kinds of ideals that we strive for, and Citizen U can be that roadmap for the reader to get to their own place where they're making a difference. And it has nothing to do with your bank account. It has nothing to do with your personal net worth. It has everything to do with how you look inside, see what you can do, and then go act.
You are listening to This Week in America on the Blue Funk Broadcasting Radio Network, website thisweekinamerica.us. Jonathan Tisch is our guest on the program, author of the book Citizen U, the website, very simple, citizenu.org. All sorts of information there on how you can participate and be an active citizen. The program is called Active Citizenship, and how you can participate. It's interesting because not only was the family a great influence, like I said, it wasn't something they beat in you. It was just something that was just a matter of life, because that's what mom and dad and that's what the relatives did. Tufts University played a big role in shaping who you are today from an active citizenship standpoint.
Very much. I am a graduate of Tufts. I graduated in 1976. And have been very involved in the university. And about 4 years ago, there was a real honor bestowed upon me and to a larger extent my family. They named a college after me, and it is now the Jonathan Tisch College of Citizenship and Public Service. And some of the work that we comment on in Citizen U is reflective of what is being taught to the students that are part of Tisch College at Tufts University. And Tufts really serves as a microcosm for universities and colleges all over this land. This generation that I guess now they're being called the millennials, these young people are graduating with a different understanding of what the challenges are. They have grown up in a different time than when I grew up, or maybe the generation even younger than me. They're growing up with a keen appreciation that we live on a planet that has very limited resources, where historically we thought that we could do anything we want and the planet would survive and thrive. That's not the case. They're growing up in an era where the challenges that we hear about on a daily basis, that information is in front of us constantly. And they're also on the right side of the digital divide, and they can have access to information instantaneously, and there is so much information out there that describes the challenges and also offers ways to cure the challenges. So what we're doing at Tufts, and it's also, which I'm very proud of, the programs there are being used as examples for other colleges and universities that want to educate their students in a way that is going to make a difference in so many communities around the country.
What I found really interesting, one of the chapters, and there were so many that were interesting, and it's like, yes, this really makes some sense, and this will motivate people, in Citizen U by Jonathan Tisch, our guest on the program today, This Week in America. Talking about New York City, because most people from the outside would look at that and go, yeah, but that's a real hustle, bustle city. It's a complex city. You've got people that it's sort of a get-out-of-my-way attitude. And you're saying this really is a place where active citizenship is thriving.
Very much so, and if you can lead by example, which many people can and many people do, the example is set by our mayor. Mayor Mike Bloomberg, who certainly has done very well in his career, started with very little. It was actually from the town that Tufts is located in. His mother is 92 and still lives in Medford, Massachusetts. Created one of the great media empires in the country and in the world, Bloomberg LP. And as everybody knows, he is now entering his 9th year as mayor of the city of New York. And a year ago, he said, I want New York City to serve as a wonderful shining light, a primary example of what it can mean when citizens do something. and he started NYC Service. And it's a multifaceted plan which allows so much of the resources, the human and capital resources of the city, to be used in ways that help a lot of people. And now that program is being replicated in cities around the country. You noted that there's a chapter on NYC Service, and because we think it's important. Cities are where so many Americans live and raise their families, and they have challenges like many areas. But Mayor Bloomberg has set a road mark. He has set a marker saying this is what we need to do, and we can do even more.
You're listening to This Week in America. Citizen U is the name of the new book, Doing Your Part to Change the World. Jonathan Tisch is our guest on the program today. Yes, the chairman and CEO of Loews Hotels, and being involved in civic philanthropic activities for a number of years. You mentioned something that's interesting, and that's the digital citizenship. And as you look at this, it's like, problems have never been greater all around the world. Yet the opportunities to solve these problems, by the same token, probably have never been greater. With social networking, with this whole digital revolution, I'm thinking there are a lot of positive things happening where you can be an active citizen and make a difference.
Very much so, and you can do it from the privacy or the confines of your own home. You can do it in your living room. You can do it in your kitchen if that's where your computer is. You can do it in a park using Wi-Fi. You can make a difference by navigating through various websites, and we talk about some of those sites. You can go online. You can see what the challenges are. We talk about a great site called DonorsChoose.org. This was started by a New York City school teacher who realized that he didn't necessarily have all of the tools that he needed to educate his kids. One day he might need markers. One day he might want to go on a field trip. And so he started a website where people can go on. Now there are literally thousands of school applications that teachers write in to Donors Choose, and you can donate $25 so that school children in Des Moines, Iowa can go on a field trip, or you can donate $50 so that in San Francisco some kids can get a new laptop, or the proceeds will help buy a laptop. Those are the kinds of ways that even just sitting at your desk, you can make a difference.
Well, and so many businesses now are realizing we can make a difference. It's actually good for business, and we actually feel good about what we're doing. As I mentioned, Lowe's has been doing this for years. I know one of the, out of your many projects you really like is the Good Neighbor policy. Tell us a little bit about how that works.
We are celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Loews Hotels Good Neighbor policy. We started this 2 decades ago, and we wanted to demonstrate to our coworkers, the men and women who really populate our hotels. They're the ones that are delivering the great service that we're proud of at Loews Hotels. The men and women who are part of our bell staff, our wait staff, the housekeepers. We wanted to show them that we cared about the communities where they live, which are also the same communities where we operate our hotels. And we also wanted to show our guests that we care. And so we created this program. It's now in its 20th year. We're upgrading it. We're always changing it. And what I feel good about in lodging and the hotel business, where I've made a career, is that we have so many companies that are doing something. And you mentioned this notion of CSR, corporate social responsibility. In the old days, it was an adage that you couldn't do well and do good at the same time. That's very much old-fashioned. And what you're seeing with so many big companies, small companies, mom and pops, that they are helping the communities where they operate their businesses, but they're also helping their bottom line. And it's okay to do well and do good at the same time.
In the concluding chapter of the book, you talk about revitalizing our democracy. And as you look at it, the problems we face and the fact that government really, especially with the budget problems, really can't jump in and throw money at problems anymore. It's pretty much what we're facing as an opportunity to revitalize our democracy.
We're only going to get there when we break down the barriers between us as individuals, us as communities, and work together, as I mentioned earlier, towards this greater good. And in some cases, the challenges are so enormous, government still does have the resources to help. But in many cases, the best partnerships, these public-private partnerships, are where government and private sector work together. Government still can write checks. They still have a lot of money at its fingertips, less than maybe we want in certain instances. But when you combine that with the metrics that the private sector use for success, when you join that up with the ability of the private sector to get things done and not get bogged down in bureaucracy, That's a real win for our communities. That's how our neighborhoods are going to grow and become even better places for us to raise our families.
Got about 30 seconds left in the program. How fulfilling has this been for you? Because you're motivating people, people are talking about it, people that are out there going, but I'm one person. What difference can I make? Well, when you participate as an active citizen with Citizen U and go online, that type of thing, suddenly you're in with other people and you can make a difference. This has to be very fulfilling for you.
Well, I never thought that I'd write one book, much less 3 books. And my co-author, Carl Weber, has been there every step of the way. It's been a great relationship. And if we can better the lives of the 300 million Americans that in some manner we call our fellow citizens, then that's a very positive experience. And this is just one book that offers up some ideas, but my sense is that your listeners, when they go out and look at Citizen U or go on citizenu.org, they're going to realize that it's not that difficult to get involved, and they will feel very good about helping their neighbors in a very positive manner.
The book is a catalyst for all of us to become active citizens. The book is called Citizen U. Jonathan Tisch has been our guest on the program. Citizenu.org is the website. Mr. Tisch, best of luck. Congratulations on an excellent book, and thank you for joining us on This Week in America.
Rick, really appreciated the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you.